Welcome back to Happy Place Cooking. Today I'm going to make a little protein sweet treat. A little low carb, high protein with just a few of these ingredients, and it shouldn't take very long, and hopefully it turns out pretty good. Let's get started. I'm going to start with my cottage cheese. I am going to use 1 cup. I'm going to measure this out pretty close. I do think this is going to make 2 small-ish servings. Well, they're probably actual serving size, but you know, they're going to be small. They're not going to be huge helpings. So I'm just going to use this cottage cheese. I got a low-fat cottage cheese. I'm going to throw this in my immersion blender cup because that's how I'm going to mix it all up rather than using a blender. You could use a regular blender if you don't have an immersion blender. I just thought this would be pretty simple to make with the immersion blender. I'm going to add a teaspoon of this pure vanilla. And I have some monk fruit sweetener, and that is what I'm going to use as my sweetener. I have 4 little packets of these. I'm not really for sure, but I would say that is probably equal to maybe 2 teaspoons. I'm not really for sure about that. I've never measured these out, so I don't know. I'm going to go ahead and use my immersion blender and blend that together. Try to get my cottage cheese a little bit smooth before I add my peanut butter. This is technically a 3-ingredient recipe. It's just cottage cheese, vanilla, and peanut butter. The chocolate chips that are 0 sugar and some peanuts that I'll also be adding are going to be a garnishment for the top, but it's optional. You don't have to use the chocolate chips or the peanuts. You could use anything you wanted to top with, or you can leave it plain. I am using a 1/4 cup of peanut butter, and I am using an all-natural that doesn't have sugar added, but it is crunchy. You could use a smooth peanut butter. I do suggest the all-natural, otherwise you kind of lose a little bit of that whole healthy aspect. Now I'm going to take my immersion blender again, and I am going to try to carefully blend up this peanut butter with the already smooth cottage cheese vanilla mixture. This might take a little bit of work. The peanut butter is very thick, but you want to make sure it gets nice and mixed up. You don't want it to have any huge chunks of peanut butter. Since I have a lid for my immersion cup, I am going to go ahead and just cover it with my lid. And I'm going to place this in the freezer for probably 30 minutes, maybe an hour, and then I'll come back and top it with my good stuff, and I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, here we go. It's nice and chilled and thick, but smooth. I'm going to serve this up in 2 cute little dishes. Try to make it equal amounts. Smells real peanut buttery. I'm going to add just a few of these peanuts that I had from another recipe. Sprinkle a few around the tops on both dishes. And now I'm going to add a little bit of the 0 sugar chocolate chips. And you could use sugared chocolate chips if you wish. I was just trying to make this a slightly bit healthier of a recipe, but if you're not worried about the sugar, by all means go for the sugared chocolate chips. Thanks so much for watching. Happy eating!